Hi, this is Keiko from Brooklyn Shoe Space. How are you? This is Shoe Talks Quarantine Edition. Today I'm going to be inviting Jack from E. Vogel Bespoke Boots. When E. Vogel Boots was on Howard Street, I think it was on Howard Street in Soho, I was intimidated and I couldn't go and visit the shop. I've always walked by it, I knew where it was, but I never actually entered foot in the shop. And then a few years ago, they moved to the Navy Yards, and now I feel like I can't go in there without an appointment. I'll ask him about it, how to go there, visit. I don't want to go if I don't have bespoke shoes to order. I didn't want to waste their time. But anyhow, they are on watching us, so I will invite them in this combo. Let's see, it says it's waiting. I wonder if he can doot. It says waiting. Hold on. Oop. Waiting. Hi, Sarah. Oh, Alex Wills. Hi, how are you? Okay. He's here. Okay, let me see if I can add him again. Hold on. Doot. Hello.
Hello. Sorry
Hi.
about that. Little technical difficulties.
No, it's okay. Thank you for joining us today.
Of course, I was looking forward to it.
Where are you joining us from? Are you at the workshop or you're not at the workshop?
No, we're still not open, unfortunately.
Right.
My wildest dreams would have thought that we'd be closed this long.
Yes. Tell us about this closure. How long have you been quarantining, and how is anybody at the workshop, or is it
Nobody.
just nobody?
Wow. We were really forced to close down completely. And it's not the kind of business that you can work from home.
Yeah, no.
So we've been closed since March 19th.
Okay, wow.
And
do you know when you'll reopen?
We will reopen, I would say, no later than the 15th of June.
Right, with the second wave, they said, what's it? Phase 2?
Yeah, but I think by that point, that Monday, I think we'll be open for sure.
Right. And would the entire staff go, or is it going to be like
Yes.
Partial? Yeah.
Yes. Everybody has agreed to come.
Okay.
So I have my fingers crossed because we have old work that needs to be finished.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Wow. I didn't know. Wow. Have you been in the shop at all, or not really?
I have not.
Not even. Wow. Okay.
We're not. I mean, we really weren't allowed.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I've been keeping in touch with customers by email. I do have telephone calls being forwarded to me. So we're doing our very best, and everybody's been very understanding.
Right.
But now that other states have opened up, now I'm starting to get more calls saying, are my boots finished? Are my shoes finished? Right.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and E. Vogel Boots and how you started your journey with shoemaking.
Sure.
Yeah.
The company, E. Vogel, was established in 1879 by my great-grandfather, Aegidius Vogel.
Wow.
My last name is Lynch, but my mom is a Vogel. So I am a fourth-generation shoemaker.
Wow.
We've always been located in Lower Manhattan.
Yes.
All that time.
Yes.
I heard you talking about Howard Street.
Yeah.
Which was a great spot. My uncles, who were third generation, my mom's two brothers, purchased that building sometime in the 60s.
Wow.
And a family member sold it about 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And it was traumatic because
Yes.
at that point I had to move the business, and we certainly couldn't afford to be in Soho.
No, right.
And so we went over to the Brooklyn Navy Yard. And,
Right.
in
How,
terms of the space over there, it's pretty good because I have 4,000 square feet on one floor.
wow.
Howard Street was 3 floors and a basement.
Right.
And so you were constantly running up and down the stairs to
Uh-huh.
get anything
Well,
done. So this is a lot more efficient.
right. Good exercise going up and down the
Well,
stairs, but
that's good. I do miss that.
you're right. 3,000 square feet is really big.
Four.
Wow.
I've got 4,000 square feet.
4,000. Wow, wow.
Well, we have a lot of shoe lats and boot lats, and they take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
I could probably, if it were really, really, really organized, do it with a little less space.
Right.
But it works for us.
Right. So would you call your father or uncles your mentors, or how did you get into the
Oddly
business?
enough, my greatest mentor I never met, and that would be my great-grandfather. And, he's got his fingerprints on things I do on a daily basis.
Mm.
I didn't work there when my grandfather was there, who was second generation. He had already retired by the time I got in.
Mm.
So I didn't learn so much from him. However, once again, there were a lot of things that he did and changed and things of that nature that, I was able to get information from.
Right.
And then my mom's brothers, Jack and Hank Vogel, I learned a lot. Really.
Wow. Uh-huh.
So it's just me now.
Right. But then you have workers as well. How many people help you?
There are, including myself, there are 8 altogether.
8 altogether. Did you train everybody, or were they with your family for a long time?
Well, people who are there have been working there for a long time, but a lot of them are from South and Central America, and a lot of them have been making shoes their whole lives.
Right.
From when they were kids.
Right.
And in our business, everybody has a specialty.
Yes.
We have people who just make lats,
Mm-hmm.
For the foot. We have people who make patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just cut leather. We hand last everything. So we have people who, only do that.
Right.
We have a person who only does finishing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a couple of upper makers
Mm-hmm.
who, make the shoes and boots, and one of them also does repairs. So it's really like a miniature assembly line.
Definitely, it is. It is a factory, I think, like a workshop factory. There's a question from one of the viewers. Sabatus Bespoke says, "Great homage to your great grandfather. Will you pass on your skills to your own children or nieces or nephews?"
I have one son who's in his early 20s, and right now I'm doing my best to try to get him to graduate college.
Yes.
And, when he's done with that, if he shows an interest, absolutely. I'd love to see him go 5 generations.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Do you think, has he shown interest so far, or has he come to your workshop? And
typical of a young person who isn't exactly sure of what they want to do. Sometimes he's very interested, and sometimes he's not. So we're just going to have to see. Right.
Oh, please. I would love it if it's 5 generations.
That'd be great.
So, you're right. So how long has it been since you've taken over or you've joined the company? So it's...
Well, I have been there since 1985.
Wow. That's
So,
quite a long time. Yeah, 35 years.
um,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Uh,
And what would you say your specialty in the shoemaking process is?
I started from the very bottom, which would include cleaning toilets, sweeping floors. I did the shipping for a while. And then I moved up to doing repairs. We
Oh,
make a lot of equestrian
yes.
riding boots.
Yeah.
And I was responsible for, anything that had to be taken in or cut down or
Mm-hmm.
gussets added to it or any of that stuff. And I learned a lot.
Yes.
Because, when you take it apart, it's all right there.
Yeah.
Um, and then as time went on, I learned more and more about all the different stages of shoemaking. Did some of it. And, then you come to a point where you know what's correct and you know what's not correct. And,
Yeah.
So I've been in that stage for quite a while.
Yes, definitely. Um, Other than your brain and your hands, what's your favorite tool in your trade?
We've got some really neat old Singer machines,
Mm, are
back
they?
strap machines and all kinds of different machines that are really neat. And
Yeah.
if you can get parts for them,
Yeah.
they'll run great.
Yeah. Are they high post or flatbeds?
Both.
Both.
Both. We have post machines, we have flat machines, we have cylinder machines.
Right. And for tall boots, I'm assuming the high post has to be taller. To
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly right.
Yeah.
And the flat
And
machines are good for shoes.
mhm. And then when you're lasting them, do you prefer standing on a with a pole, like a lasting pole, or
Yeah,
do
they
you
sit. They sit when they do it.
you sit? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And but not on your lap. It's on a lasting pole.
They have a lasting pole, but they do move it back and forth.
Oh, I see. I
Yeah.
see. Yeah, that's so cool. Um, Customers and yeah, so you not only make equestrian boots. I thought that I think in my mind when I was passing by Howard Street that you guys only did equestrian boots, but I realized that you do other boots and shoes and bespoke and fashion as well.
The funny thing is,
Uh-huh.
we've been making shoes,
Uh-huh.
men's shoes,
Yeah.
longer than we've made boots.
Oh, okay.
So my great grandfather, Gideus Vogel, made mostly shoes, and he made some boots.
Mm.
And then my grandfather, when he came in, still made a lot of shoes, was based down near Wall Street. So he was able to sell a lot of custom shoes as well
Yeah.
as, in those days, they made ready-made shoes as well.
Yeah. Mm.
But he also made more equestrian boots. And then when the third generation came, they found, a niche with selling our riding boots through tack shops all over the country, really all over the world. Each
Right.
had to measure for the boots, and they would
Mhm.
take the measurements and send them in to us, and we'd make them. So that became a
The
huge
main. Yeah. Right.
business.
Right.
But even today, we still make more boots than we do shoes. But every year we're making a little bit more in the way of shoes and
Okay.
fashion boots.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. And well, when clients come, do they come with a design in mind, or do you have like a collection that this clients can choose from?
Both.
Both.
Many times somebody will come to us and they'll have an old shoe or an old pair of boots.
Mm-hmm.
This was my favorite, and I've never been able to find another one like it. And we will basically, ape the shoe or boot. We don't make anything with a high heel.
Right.
But, most other things, we can make a reasonable facsimile of anything.
Yes.
Other times people will be looking on the web
Yeah.
and they will send us an email of a picture
Mm-hmm.
of a boot or shoe that they like.
Mm-hmm.
That happens a lot.
Mm.
And I even get sketches.
Mm. That's yeah, yeah.
Yep.
That's that's great. Do you have in-house last makers?
Yeah,
So in that case, if someone does come with the designs, you guys can start from basically scratch.
we can.
Yeah.
They can get specific toe shapes
Uh-huh.
and
It's a lot of
everything from everything you order from us
yeah.
is full custom.
Wow.
So you have your choice of soles, insoles, lining leathers,
Yeah.
outer leathers,
Yeah.
toe boxes, no toe boxes,
Right.
Goodyear welt construction,
Right.
all kinds of things.
Right. And
As a matter of
do you hand weld as well, or do you um yeah.
We do both, but I'll tell you what. We, a few years back, got a Goodyear welt machine. And honestly, it does such a fantastic job. Number one, it's a lot faster than hand welting. And
Yeah.
number two, it's great because it gives you even tension
Right.
all the way around the shoe as you're putting the welt on.
Mm.
So in many ways, it works out better.
Okay.
We do
Okay.
have some people who, want them hand welted and they have to pay for it.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
if somebody wants that, we offer it.
Right. Yeah, that's the strength of having everything in-house. You can do everything and you can, I guess, customize it to the client's, I guess, price point.
A lot of control.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So you said you also have your line of, not your line, but you have a few designs already. Do you come up with new styles every year or?
Well, I mean, when we have time,
Mm-hmm.
we will make some samples.
Right.
And
Which is rare to have sometimes, right?
it
You're
is
just
because
so busy.
we're always working off a backlog. So
Right.
there's not a lot of time. But, our pattern maker often will come up with something and run it by me. What do you think of this? But, truthfully, like in men's shoes, for instance, there really aren't that many core styles.
Right.
But there are zillions of variations of
Yes. Yes.
these. So,
And the toe shapes. Mm-hmm.
those shapes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we make some pretty neat stuff. It's exciting to
Yeah.
see these new ones come through.
Yeah. Do you always wear shoes that were made in your shop?
I do.
Wow.
Unless it's raining.
Right. You're at home, it seems like, so maybe you're not wearing shoes. I'm not sure, but what are you wearing today?
Actually, I am. I'm wearing a pair of ostrich
Uh-huh.
loafers.
Ooh. Wow. Ostrich loafers?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Oh, there's Tyler Lynch.
That's my son.
Oh, that's great. Love to see it, Dad says. One day I was saying in the beginning, I haven't been to your shop on Howard Street, and I would love to come visit in the Navy Yards.
Oh.
But I'm not sure, is it kind of like it's not a retail space.
We have a fitting room.
Fitting room, right.
It's not fancy. I mean, it's a real factory. But the
Right.
beauty of it is you get to see shoemaking.
Yes. I just don't want to waste your time, but I would love to come and visit.
Please come. I encourage people to come.
Oh, yes.
It's a lot of
That'll be
fun.
great. And maybe one day we can do a follow-up call from your space as well to see the insides. It's just fascinating.
Absolutely. I would love that.
That would be great. And what about hand tools? Do you have like a special hand tool that's from your great-grandfather or? Anything that you have like,
No, I mean, the hand tools now, which are predominantly used by lasters,
right?
let them have their own tools. I mean,
Yes.
we have some, last pinchers and things of that nature that they can use, but a lot of them have their own system. They have their own sharpening stones,
Mm-hmm.
their own knives.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know,
Right. Definitely. So what do you think, what would you do differently post-corona, this lockdown? Would you do anything differently, or do you feel like you can go on in a similar pace and similar method?
I think we can go on in a similar pace. I mean, we make a lot of boots for the Aggies at Texas A&M University,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a lot of those orders waiting to be done. Normally, the university would have already done what they call final review, and those boots would have had to have been finished by May.
Right. Right.
And obviously, they're not because we weren't able
Right.
to do it.
Right.
So we've got a lot of things to finish when we get there. Since we've been closed, we have a lot of people who have sent boots and shoes in for repairs.
Uh-huh.
So we have a lot of those that we're going to have to do. And then we have other people who have, ordered boots at the beginning of the year.
They're waiting.
Well, haven't finished. So
Right. So you have a lot to catch up on.
We have a lot to catch up on.
All right. Well,
and then at the moment, we're running a pretty good special on the internet for riding boots, shoes, and fashion boots. So we've been fortunate enough to actually get some orders while we've been closed.
That is great.
So that's a big plus.
Yes. So yeah, so you have a lot to look forward to when you get back.
Yep.
Yeah. Vision Quest Shoes asks, she comments, visited a few years ago and it was amazing. They rehealed my vintage E. Vogel boots. That's amazing. She also says, how long does it take to complete a custom pair of riding boots?
About a week.
Oh.
But we're never working on one pair at a time.
Mm-hmm.
We're always working on a few pairs at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So, the laster may get 4 pairs of boots in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be all he can do.
Yeah.
Finisher will then be working on those, putting the heels on and finishing the soles, plus repairs.
Yeah.
So, we're a small company, so we can't make a lot of anything.
Right.
But quality is paramount to us.
Yes.
That's why we're still around.
Yes, definitely. Would you take interns or apprentices?
I would. I really would. As time goes on, it's becoming more and more and more difficult to find people who can do this kind of work. And there are less places around the world that make things by hand.
Yes.
Not just shoes.
Right.
So, I'd be very interested in finding some people who'd like to apprentice.
Right. And maybe with like a commitment to really stick around a little bit so that it's not just
awesome.
learn in flight. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we have not resources. What's the right word? We do have a pool of students who come by. So I'll keep an eye out.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I would appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, if you had unlimited resource and time in the world, what kind of shoes would you make and for whom?
Can you just repeat that?
So if you had unlimited resources and the time in the world, what kind of shoes would you make yourself, for example, if you had the time, or with your team? What kind of shoes would you make and for who would it be for?
This is going to sound crazy, and I don't know that it'll ever happen, but I've always had a fantasy of making the largest custom shoe ever made.
Have you looked into the Guinness records?
I don't know. I mean, we've made some in the 20s
Uh-huh.
over the years. I used to have a sample of one that was awesome, but I think somebody helped themselves to it, so I no longer have it.
How big was it?
It was huge. It was, a matter of fact, it was made for one of the giants in circus.
Oh, wow. So it was actually worn.
It was actually worn. And it's, matter of fact, it had a hole in the sole.
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean something really big, like something...
As like artwork? Like almost like
a sculpture.
Sculpture. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that would be really neat. It'd be a lot of work, but I think that would be a great thing to do.
Yeah. Wow. That'll be fun. I mean, I don't know how long that's going to take, but and the materials. It's hard to find the...
Well, we would have to stitch hides together.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
You know, they wouldn't be large enough.
I actually think there's this two kids who did I think a Guinness record, the largest shoes, and I forgot how big. It was like a couple feet long.
Uh-huh.
But it was kind of like a remake of a Vans sneaker.
Uh-huh.
And they had somebody come and check, and it was materials that were similar to the actual shoe.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was not like a bespoke, like custom kind of shoe. So I'm curious. That'll be kind of fun to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where would you want to be, and what would you want to be doing in like 3 to 5 years?
I'd really like to be doing the same thing, but I'd really like to be making more street boots for women and more bespoke shoes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That is really the part of the business that I would love to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's what we're going to be focusing on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is there like a story behind it with like equestrian boots? Is it less, how do you say, demand for?
Well, you know, the riding boots for a long time was a fantastic market.
Right.
Over the years, the riding industry, the equestrian industry, has waned every year.
Right.
It keeps becoming more and more exclusive.
Right.
And there are more bootmakers who can mass produce things from all over the world, you know, from South America or Italy. You know, a lot of them aren't hand lasted and that kind of thing.
Right.
But it is a situation now where people can, if they have a normal leg and foot, walk into a tack store and walk out with something.
Right, right.
Instant gratification.
Right.
As good as a custom boot? No.
Right.
It can't possibly fit as well.
Right.
But, you know, it's kind of the world we live in now. I think people don't know quality as much as they used to. They know labels. They know brands. Right. But they don't necessarily know quality.
Right. Well, I would love to see, I would love to see the women's collection. I have to go on your website.
You want to design something.
Ooh.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you know, as long as it doesn't have much of a heel, we can put a heel of about 1 3/8.
Right. 1 3/8. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and, you know, we do make loafers for women. Walking shoes for women. We just don't make pumps.
Right. Your riding boots are so beautiful. You know, I would love to see what kind of the boot lasts they are, and like the shaft part as well. I would love to see how that's done.
we've taken some of the, this is my friend's boot who's here with me, and it's really one of our equestrian styles. But it's
Uh-huh.
been made into, a street boot, and she
Yeah.
absolutely loves it.
Into a Chelsea boot, kind of. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Or
Wow.
something like this, which this one happens to have snaps, but we can
Oh,
make buttons if you want.
okay. Uh-huh.
And this is definitely vintage. I mean, this is going back. I don't know how many years, but a long
Maybe a
time ago.
decade, maybe.
Yeah.
Wow. I love it that it lasts long. Um, not supplies, materials. What kind of leather do you use for the equestrian?
We import it mostly from France.
Mm.
The same tannery that Hermes uses, we use.
Mm-hmm.
Except they own the tannery now.
Right, right.
And there are really only a few of them left in France, and they're all owned by companies who manufacture things. So,
right.
But in France, they eat a lot of veal. And I'm not, some people get upset when I say this, but the leather is always a byproduct of the meat. The meat comes first.
Right.
So they eat a lot of veal, so they have smaller animals over there, calf.
Mm-hmm.
And the calf skin is beautiful.
Yeah.
Because it has a very tight grain.
Yeah.
It's fairly supple. And over in France, they don't have barbed wire all over the place.
Right. So no scratches.
They're not scarred.
Yeah.
So it makes for a wonderful boot or shoe.
Right.
But it's very expensive.
Yes. Yes. And the import and the freight, transportation, everything. Oh.
Yeah, but we're still doing it. We will not compromise on quality. So that's what we do.
Definitely. I would love to ask maybe offline, or I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot now. So when you get back, and I know you're busy for a little while, or even, for a very long time, but if we can do another follow-up video.
Oh, I love that.
Yes,
that'd be
please.
great.
That would be great to see where you are, so that, so customers or possible customers who might be a little intimidated to go visit can see ahead, and also to reach out to you.
Let's do it sooner rather than later.
Yes. Let's pencil in a date. I'll message you offline about it.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah. Oh, this is so wonderful. I'm so thankful that you took time today out of your afternoon to talk to me. Thank you for what you do. And I look forward to seeing the 5th generation. And also maybe training. It'll be great. I'll also talk to you offline about some things like that.
That'd be terrific. I'd appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Jack.
Thanks a million.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye.